want push from man.
You want push from man because if you do push from man, you have live resync from your history archive.
Yeah, what if there's another way to do that?
If there's another way to do it.
Oh, I see, live resync. I have for doing history syncing properly, which is I need to get out.
You can, but what you end up doing. Okay, so carbons, the issue I have with carbons is that it changes core routing rules. And if we can have a way of doing clients multi-sync without changing core routing rules, this seems like a better idea than messing around with RV.
Well, yeah,
but
I have some ideas of making that more compatible, but it also requires some changes to how we use public subscription. If you and I mentioned this before, if you would take out the payload of public subscribed items and put it next to the event element, so to say, maybe with a reference or some other kind of indicator, then you can make it backwards compatible. Because the payload is always just a message. And then the information about publish, subscribe, or whatever other protocol metadata you might have is, metadata.
still on board. We're still working on the board.
So currently you have, if you get a pops up notification, you have message. And then
you have a stream of X nodes.
Shut up.
and then item. And then item. And then
So basically, this is a regular publish subscribe event, right? What if you would remove this here and somehow denote that the payload is actually here? Or rather, that the entire message, with the exception of the event itself, is the actual payload for that particular item. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but the idea comes from a discussion that I had with Blaine Coof at Twitter in 2008. They had created a bot that would just, you would get the tweets from the people in your the people you follow in Twitter, and you would basically just get atom elements describing that particular tweet just sent to your FTP client. And I asked him, why don't you use publish subscribe? And he said, well, this is the minimal amount of work that a client will need to do to support these tweets. Just know about the atom namespace, and then interpret that. And if you just send a message to the bot to say, okay, I want a subscription to this person, you simply just get those messages. So in the back, it works as a publish subscribe thing, but without the publish subscribe protocol. Now, and if you would still want to use the publish subscribe protocol for other things, like retrieve items history, or do more specific things about your subscriptions, so you would actually use the publish subscribe protocol to configure your subscription or do other things, you can still do that. And you could just have the event metadata describing which node the notification comes from, potentially an item ID for that payload. And if you would do it like that, all that information becomes the metadata for that message, which is still use the SQL client. They don't step up subscribe. Now, going back to your example of man and having push in there, and also tying into Carbons, the way it works with Carbons right now is that you basically just get the message pushed to you automatically, but somebody, some other client sends it, right? You just get it pushed back as a regular message. Now, if you want to add publish subscribe to it, you just have the publish subscribe metadata next to it. So it's backwards compatible. And I think it works for other things as well, like maybe roster pushes and other protocols.
Basically, I don't see why you want events.
You might not actually want, but you could. That's why.
I mean, I guess man, I want to have this model.
Yeah.
Or that's a model for. But I don't want to be able to manipulate it by subset.
What?
I don't want to be able to know configuration by subset, and I don't want to be able to do.
Well, you don't have to support it. I'm just saying that you could.
You could.
So it would be, compulsory to actually support it with concept for that setting, which you might be able to model it in the back and also start that.
If you're back end, you're probably going to choose to implement it on top of the subset. I think
Yeah.
subset.
And whether or not you expose it is another question.
Right.
But I'm just this was my idea of and it's not fully worked out yet. But I think there is merit in thinking about having the payload become sibling to the actual event element instead of being embedded 3 levels down.
Right. We've got that in the bottom further.
Did you have a short name for that? It's a compatible combination of everything.
The reason to think I'd like to have two publish instead of cards is that clients still want to be able to sync, or clients might still want to be able to sync. So if you log in, you do your man to find out what you missed. Then you have a bunch of messages during your session. And then you log out. And so that's the next session you want to resync. And you'd like to resync just what was missed. Right. Again. Now, if it is carbons, we will have to modify carbons to tie in with man anyway, if we want it to work. And we'll have to extend carbons to also send you your messages. You need to have a per ID message, per message ID from man for everything you see. So you can sync that and have a local store. So then next time you can log in and just say, yeah, everything syncs mostly from ID and everything syncs everything beautiful. And at that point, we've changed carbons. Because we're going to end up like echoing our own stuff, and we're going to need to annotate our own messages that come in as if they were from the archive and blah. It's vastly simpler just to say, let's have it subscribe to man, and then when you subscribe to man, you keep getting your man notifications for all of your messages.
How would you deal with the default mode of public subscribe if you subscribe with a resource that is required? You probably want that your notification for the end of the subscribe.
You do it for them. You do it for you have to put it stuff.
But that subscription only gets out as long as that's what you
Yes, you need to do it for your own archive. I'm assuming you could only subscribe to their own archive. But if you subscribe to your own archive, then that's fine. You just sit in those and go offline and then you second end and that's it.
Right.
You can take forward. What do you subscribe to other archives? Most archive things, most things that will have archives are already things that we're pushing stuff out. And we can annotate e-link.
And what if you
Link to
what if you sync up your own history? Basically, you start your client fresh and you want to start using it.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of history that's at least here, attendance to what you got in from that. Because of the conversation that you had in that one, months ago.
Yeah.
And we published those items. Would only allow that time to get those notifications as well.
You mean you want to make man a wonderful stuff?
Well, I'm just asking, what would happen if you do that? I mean, I wouldn't want, well, you know, if I'm not supporting that, to only receive a lot of history as if it was just fact.
Well, no, you have to subscribe to your
Right.
man subscription has to be
Yeah.
explicit, although we might play it in if it's the same, but it would still be explicit for man support man. You're not going to start receiving man stuff when you go to support man.
In terms of mobile considerations, so mobile goes into the background, doesn't want to get all these pushes, would just unsubscribe at that point and then resubscribe.
So it's probably would subscribe.
No, I think it would subscribe in the first place, and I think what it would do is it then use the map input stuff. What's it called?
Yes, fine.
CSI. It would use CSI to say to the server, I'm going to now, please be nice to me, don't send me a message, and then I actually send them. Okay. And the server can then bottle all of your traffic, so you only get whatever it is, 3-way It's just an indication the client says to the server, by the way, I'm in the background now.
It's like a lightweight shift.
Yeah, it's up to the server to then.
So it's just like,
So we're looking at something very similar, but the problem we have with that is then when the mobile client
One discussion at a
gets those
time.
messages, it gets them in the order that they were sent. So things like red indicators and kind of receive, you get the message first, then you sometime later you get the message then that's been read. So the mobile client still kind of wants to show the notification even though it's been read on the device. Something we can design in there.
I mean, potentially you could have the server, say, and now you're flash.
Yeah.
So
Starting and an end.
so when the client says, get me out of that client, the server can then do flash and then say to back to flash.
Yeah.
That's the client can suppress all notifications for as long as the server is actually cached.
Yeah.
And then when it's got them worked out what's still needed. Yeah.
So that would
You
need to
still
be,
get in order processing.
Yeah.
so that would need to be, part of the
That's the
CSI.
CSI thing.
CSI thing, right?
Is CSI a separate spec or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number?
Number.
oh.
Please something.
Yeah.
352.
Yeah, we could presumably make 352 tell you when you are flash.
352. Yeah, 352.
Matt?
I will do this. I think so. I'm sort of thinking we need that to cover all of it. Combine it all into.
Like an umbrella.
I think we need an umbrella.
Yeah,
Potentially
possibly.
all
So I'm just thinking just another way to solve the land catch-up thing is you could. But from the server side, just to let you know, we basically we get a message come in and we want to deliver it to the user. We've got multiple devices, even when we go online, offline, they could support 198, so we have to retry, but yeah, if we successfully deliver to 198, a 198 enabled device, do we still retry to other devices? Because, it'll get really complicated.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and then how does NAM tie in with offline messages? If you use it offline and then the clients are using NAM to catch up with messages that might miss the front of the devices, we need offline messages anymore. So if the client's with a NAM query, do we still send them offline messages?
Yeah, that's the question. I think we
Because
want
NAM doesn't say, oh, this is going to take offline messaging. client might get it twice, but then he could use the man ID in the offline message to say, oh, this message one I've already got, but to say that's a waste of time.
Or the other approach is that you notify the server that you want to do man before you confess.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But one thing I was thinking is maybe just, I mean, a lot of these cases, they require the server to know which client to reach out, and that solves a lot of things. So if you could have, I did this very in-text draft, some sort of protocol where the client says, give me an ID, and sort of labeling it man cookies where, you get this ID, and then now that we've formed in man, you can just submit a query with this cookie, and the server will automatically know what the last message was that it got delivered.
But the server cannot, well, it might be the case that the server doesn't know if the message was actually delivered.
I think with 198 it does, and if it doesn't use 198, it has to assume it's not delivered. And then one day it's going to use 198. The assumption that it was delivered is basically something we arrived at for a whole bunch of reasons. We had these discussions last year.
Okay, so the assumption is that it was delivered.
If you have multiple clients, and some using 198 and some aren't, if any of them aren't, and they're online, you send a message, and then you have to assume the message.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Umbrella.
Yeah. But how, yes. Yeah. How do we get to 198 receiving effective?
The servers now theoretically keeping track of which messages are driving and keep over clients so that it knows which messages it's going to send from the message.
Right.
So with your cookie, some awfully close to the resource.
Yeah, the resources are big things. And they're not predictable and they don't get
What's it value of the server? I mean, it's a lot of extra state to serve.
It's actually not a lot of extra state to the server. It's basically a pointer to the man archive. Say, for each client, it should be a number of the last ID that is successfully delivered. And then the nice thing is you can go on top of this and say, oh, this was the last ID that successfully read, and this is the last ID that the user replied to, whatever you want to on top of that. So because after we've solved this, read notifications are coming out. And we don't want to be back in the, like man now wants to modify carbons, we don't want to be having to, say, added man, oh, we're going to start adding red flags and stuff like that. So,
Well, yeah, I don't see what the value is to have the server remember it. Because the server always passes an idea of the message to the client. The client always knows what it's meant, what it's received. So it's roughly equivalent for the client to remember its cookie as it is for the client to remember its last idea received. Except if it remembers the last idea received, then the server doesn't care. Whereas if it has to remember its cookie, the server has to care to keep reference to the client, which is not extra thing the server.
What about,
Okay.
I see this point, I actually agree. But the only question I have is, what about presence?
presence is basically a temporary thing. Like, if say the client goes offline and it's still got the next messages and it's on that HQ,
No, that's not what I mean. I mean the history of presence change of people that you converse with, especially in months.
it must be more important. They can only remember it. But
Yeah, but if you want to do a catch up based on the ID, presence doesn't have any ID.
You
Typically.
So if you're going to do it, I don't think you want to store presence to your own archive. You want to store historical presence to your own archive.
For Mark, yeah.
No, that's not your own archive. Well, it might
Probably
be your own
not.
archive,
Probably not.
so I don't want, I mean, ideally, we'd rather not have your own server standing any time you go to use an ID. I don't want to get to work. Another engine can tell you that, mix that store. Let's do something like that. if you want to do present sync, if you want to do present sync on that, then you either have to do the throw away and thing, or the way something else. Say good messages. Do we have anything to need?
Needs what? Present in lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's everyone needs it. Well, not everyone, but I think it's important because,
Yeah.
because if you look at things like generated logs from mushrooms, all basically all the examples that I've seen, presence is also recorded because people are interested in when people left a particular population and when they entered. Sometimes even the status message or the show value is interesting because you can then know when somebody tuned out.
So we want to do that.
Yeah.
We already have a left man system in production that is growing.
Right, okay. We're sort of going past. Everything's a story going past in the archive.
Joins.
Not story status, or share, it's story going past. But again, not talk about that. So, that's everything. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Trying to keep track of the dynamic thing we need. Pheasants and birds and UIDs. And syncing your own archive is the hardest thing, because everything else you get an echo. So for man, the pub cell, whenever you publish the maximum or the pub cell archive, you always get your own message back. So off the server to stamp everything. And the view you get from man will be the same as the view you got last. Your own archive got the issue why you mute your online messages thing. It's because your own archive, you actually get a different view from the man archive than you did live. Because live, you never got echoes from your message.
Yeah.
And
Unless you use presence.
how does this echo your own message from you?
Oh.
Only echoes
Oh,
the other device.
Right. Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I think Carbon is slightly messy, is because it's not presenting a unified view. I quite like all of the clients to have a unified view of everything, pushing out the amount of people. Yeah. Whereas Carbon to have to do a lot of calculation on the client to try and get close to our message view and not quite get there.
But even if you stamp messages,
Yeah.
They have the same. So if I send a message and it has an ID, would it be changed?
The ID stamp and standard is completely independent of the UID the man archive.
Okay.
That is a UID in the archive.
Yeah.
ID on the page or whatever. So it's like the archive
Basically,
itself.
every message that you get in will be stamped with a man.
Well, we can do that in Mac. Yeah. We can do that for subset. We can't do that for ID.
Unless you got an echo.
Yeah, let's go through that.
I don't think that's entirely on the table, actually.
Oh,
But even then, the issue is that with different clients and seeing different views, messages, it makes the view thing hard. I mean, I don't think I'll go there, but I'm almost at the point, almost to say, let's get about your message and try and everything by man, and you just invented X man. Or 9 seconds in, and like much easier for us. But regardless, we have to have somewhat, if we want to light it, this is why I keep saying light sync, what we want to do is to get everything to a forward and just recreate the map. Because that way you get a consistent view. Well, if you do a subscription, then it just means any message that comes in, you receive your live one and the man archive one, which is somewhat wasteful.
Yeah.
But
which is why I like this idea, because instead of counting the messages, technically,
I don't think it can be solved that.
you are.
I don't think it can be solved that.
Each message would only be delivered once.
You might not have the same view between the clients, which is problematic.
Oh, we could have sent messages.
Because send messages, so you need an echo in that case.
So let's just add an echo and be done with it.
And you want the incoming messages to be
That's
basically,
more like the echo in that.
Yeah.
So let's just add an echo to more messages.
you basically want to say, you want your incoming messages to be the same format, or at least the same equivalent format, regardless of whether you're getting them because you got them, or you're getting them because you are using carbons / Manzo. Which is getting better. And I kind of would like to not modify it with that word.
As far as I know, all implementations of servers don't do that. There's some the process implementation will tell you to do the normal routing, and if you wouldn't receive this message, but have carbon connect, you get in the rack.
Right, which is
What
modified.
affects us?
I don't think it's modifying the core.
I think it kind of is.
Well, it isn't, because our code for core routing is not overridden in Bluetooth.
Okay, if it's not modifying how the routing rules work, how does it know not to send the carbon to the And the answer is because your routing code is including telling your carbon code which resources to receive it.
It's telling it which resources will receive a message for the bed room, and then the carbon code just sends whatever it needs to on top of that.
Right, it's not a message there.
Not modifying the routing rules. Normal routing takes place, and then carbon kicks in and fills in the gap.
It's not just messages there yet, though.
That's all good. They get delivered, and then carbon kicks in and delivers.
No, it's messages to the full dish, where the full dish is missing. And then it falls back to their dish.
What's that would be like? That's really good.
So basically, you process each standard twice. You process it once for routing rules, then you process it again in carbons, reapply the full routing rules as a subtraction from the available resource and send it together.
Make it sound worse than it is.
That's basically what happens. You
But
process
okay, you can
process
do it like that.
carbon rules process once. Once they're done, you take the second set, you take carbon routing, you generate a list of everything you want carbons, then you generate a list of people who wouldn't receive it. You subtract the second list from the first set and send it out to them.
We don't generate a list of people who would receive it, but we have the list already, because obviously captures the resources that will receive the messages. So we have this already in memory.
We don't generate a list, we just use the list to generate it. Yes, I'm entirely with these things we didn't have it. But yeah, so, okay, so you apply double routing. You do a second set of routing for carbon.
Just to layer on top of what carbon is, but it's not modifying the.
Yeah,
The original statement was that it's modifying core routing.
Just when you get
With generating new standards resources as good as we're visiting the
Yeah. Yeah, that's that.
But is that how you envision doing it as well?
No, I envision you simply saying use the Because if you want to use carbons as man cell, then you do need to modify the core region rules. Because we've got to modify the standards of being core region. We've got to include the ID generated by manager. Which may or may not
The
be
good thing that we don't do any stanza encryption.
yes. Obviously, usually man and not anything.
Well, it kind of depends. How you do ETE, right? If your ETE is stream based instead of stanza based, yeah. So if you do an out of band encrypted,
Yeah, then how on earth does your server have the standards storing the archive? You can't have a server store your archiving standards.
no, I understand
in
that.
itself.
No, what I mean is that it would be a problem for standards being modified.
Right. Yeah. That's I see what you're thinking of the server vetting the yeah. So if we do carbons, if we use carbons from answer, then we need to A, have an echo, including the UID, used by man.
That's the full message that your other resources would have got as well.
And the echo is I send a message out, which carbon would be the other resources got.
Yeah.
And we need to send it back to us as well.
So all the resources get the same view at that point.
So all the resources get the same outbound.
Do we include the full message content in the access?
We have to. We have to because you don't know what full message content is.
What if you do it similar to 198, where you also
And the problem is the server can rather not understand.
Yeah, I was thinking that. We do that in that, and it's really handy because we actually modify message back. You get to see what that results sent.
I mean, if you send out a message which doesn't have a label,
Just think very way
fine
further.
or excuse me, so we can mark that as people excuse me.
No,
And so you would want to send it back
we do it a lot of message.
to be what's doing it now. To get rid of that. And so we're changing carbons anyway. But so, and then you have to deal with what you receive. If what you receive normally, not through carbon, then that's not the same thing.
yeah.
We look at that in the copies or the or if both are active, then we would select.
This is kind of why I want to do a new man cell spec, because we're changing carbon efficiently, and it's tied in with RAM only, that it gets a little bit trying to the carbon.
I wasn't going to change mine, and that's some messages don't get archived. Like, I was just thinking, saying you send inbound byte streams through messages, they don't get archived, they won't get archived.
They might not get archived, and if they didn't
They might not get archived, but they do get archived, wow. And if they do get echoed out. I'm just thinking, for a normal use case, you're on your phone, do you care that suddenly your IM message is double because every message you send is getting back?
that's not all your IM files. The messages that
Okay,
you send is a small proportion of
And then IDB is the first one that came to mind that's getting really bad for the message, so it's not archived.
Well, it's really bad. Period.
No,
XMPP servers are really good at switching that. Switching IDB is the easiest in the world. Much easier than dealing with all the other stuff. They just receive it, read the header, and it's like that stuff. And this is
I think IDB is fine, it's just slow, just as possible, and then a different value experience.
yeah, well,
But
service
you send a
service
message,
property is bad.
your friend doesn't get your messages for half an hour, and then you're busy sending an ISO over IDB.
Yeah, this is my problem.
So that's, I mean, if the server is just making choose property, then that's bad. That's
Not only that,
like
but
yourself.
if you're sending binary, the same screen as the messages, then you have a low bandwidth connection, which is bad in several cases, like mobile, but also IoT, then basically you're not receiving the rest of the message.
You're assuming that IDB implementation will simply flood the stream without any blocking. Because the moment it uses one of those apps, it's a blocking mechanism that goes away. It all includes. It's still not far, but it is the stream. I don't think IDB is that.
Also,
So
the
the
fact that
intervening
private-
means that you're changing the order that things came in.
The IDB being bad, I think, is
Right.
if a server chooses to archive IDB messages, then they have to get it back to the But I think you have to assume that a server that chooses to archive IDB messages is going to specify providing
Would Carbon currently understand Echo IDB messages? I think the answer is yes, unless I'm surprised element. Which is bad. So,
Oh no, doesn't Carbon ignore normal and then do that? Who's better at talking about that?
It's on screen.
It's normal damage.
I think it's at one point Carbon said that only, so I could easily be off.
it does fit back on.
Yeah.
So no, it wouldn't try. It also would work now. And one of the reasons I
Says so
think we
in
should
section.
do around that is we can make a change in carbons under something significantly different.
Currently, I like the Echo idea now, get everything else I said. The Echo is simple.
I just thought you said I like geckos.
I love Echo. So, and if we could put the Echo into Carbon, that means it's backwards compatible and very.
Well, we have to change various other things with carbon.
We're going to do many other client developers if we ask them to do that Carbon, because some of them had it in their bug practice and they're like, yes, and they haven't implemented it yet, and then we'll say, oh, actually, you don't have to implement it now, implement Amazon instead, and they'll say, well, why should we implement Amazon? Because we just implement that, as an implement.
Hang on. You're saying you think that carbons that have had, so clients that have had carbons and they could do this for years and never got around to it are going to be upset because you're telling them they don't have to do
Yeah. They're still going to be Carbon.
Right. I don't see how we're going to upset a client that doesn't do carbon by saying you don't need to do carbon. It's CPD mode.
Hands up, client developers.
Yeah.
Would you
No, if I was getting something better, I think it's valid to go for anything.
But what about
You're my new friend.
what about a feature of Carbons that allows? No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, good.
So what about chat states?
Yes, and
Do not get archived,
they
generally.
Based on what? Just an exception
The thing
or?
about NAM is it respects say you can archive what you wanted up to the server. So if the server settings say archive that state, you want that state, and the server can always delegate this and make it use a configurable thing. Like
Okay.
that,
What would they be echoed then?
the thing is, you do want that safe to do it.
Echoing it back to yourself sounds very chatty, doesn't it? Yeah. I know. I just said that.
I'm talking, you're talking. I'm done talking, you're done talking. No, it seems fine. So, yeah.
So would that be a private kind of thing? Would you say private on that, or?
We do have this annoying situation where we have things that we don't want to archive, but we do want to go for clients. And if you've got desktop and mobile and somebody starts typing to you, do want that notification to go for all the time.
Yeah.
But you don't want when you come back to say, and before he sent me this message, my contact was writing to me. Before she sent me this message, she was typing. In fact, before every message each of my contacts sent me, they were typing to me.
Well, that's a distinction between personal broadcast and on something.
Possibly. But you can't get your stuff in the middle of the man archive, what they say.
Well, yeah, we do know how to write visualization algorithms, but maybe that's the point. And those things very little. We don't know how to do insertions, or things deleted. I write for RC.
We don't know how to do that.
No, we don't.
Unless we go full IMAX,
No, we're not.
which
Well, we don't need to do like,
has, oh yes, it did. That comes up next.
Oh,
We need to do that.
Okay, no.
We need to multiply that. And then there's local
annotation, that's really successful.
yeah, the problem is I really do want to actually implement pretty much all of
It's pretty much real time anyway. Just our thing.
So-
Unless we're using the Google.
So going back, you need the echoes to sync, so basically to associate messages that you send out with the ID that was given by that, right?
Yeah.
What if you didn't echo? Then the last message you received has an ID, and if you start getting back the history from that point on, yes, you would use slightly more bandwidth, but you would get all of it in one
You
go.
have slightly more bandwidth and much more complex implementation. And
But without
you end
echo.
up with some of your clients then know what their send messages were, some don't. Because if client A sends something, client B knows what it's sent. They won't know what it sent in the middle, and it all gets horrifically messy.
It's the same amount of bandwidth as you echo. That's the same amount of bandwidth as if you echo.
Yeah.
It's actually better. Right, but you have the ordering into the service.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Things you're
That's a good point. Yeah.
really, I mean, we had the echoing of phone like in the old version of man, we had the incoming message of sound, there's no echoing. And I would be reluctant to get into it because I like the idea of being able to do continual things. And I used to lock 5 of us in a room for a few hours. And we failed completely to come up with ways to actually work without echo. And I'm happy for somebody to tell me that they can come up with ways to work without echo. But I've yet to hear one that actually works without echo.
I would integrate with 198, maybe?
The client knows what to do because it solves most of the you get kind of enough that it almost works. Although you don't actually know which and you don't know what IDs they have, you can't sync on them, you end up having to do heuristic match, like remove messages from the archive that
Yeah,
you put in
no.
there.
Echo is the simplest, I think. to find
And
anyway.
Echo is relatively simple. I don't huge bandwidth of potential effectively.
Works well in Muck.
It works for that. And I've had people say, how much they like this feature, because they use IRC, and in IRC there's some message to do that you would see, and how much they like within Muck, they use once they have that message, save them, anything else, I would think. And then
ASC doesn't have that, right?
that's exactly, they would come into IRC and just leave that feature big in because a lot of people who deal with actually do that. But so
echoes.
So you have echo, and the echo comes with the man archive. Carbons or man cells?
Is there anything in carbons that could be done with from cell?
Well, no, man cells can be whatever you want.
Like we just discussed that.
Well, I think we want a situation whereby you can send a message to all your clients, broadcast that to your clients, yet not have it in the archive. Like CSS, that are interesting in real time and something.
Well, there's private for that, right?
Well, you can still not use.
So you need to have the, yeah, you need then carbons to be aware of which stuff matters to the archive.
Which is why carbon has got private and use messaging.
And so we end up with man and carbons fighting typically whatever we do.
Do people want to implement carbons without man? You know, would be the,
Well,
so,
the question is, I think, is there anything that the client implemented man self without man would lose by implementing man self without man?
I'll get them.
Minneapolis is quite straightforward. Okay, if you were to replace carbons with man self,
yeah,
would it be possible to try to implement man self
without man.
without man? And once the answer is yes, then we're okay.
So then we deprecate carbons. Man sub can exist by itself, or it can exist with man.
And you can switch if you need to. So those carbons that only support carbons, you can switch.
Add carbons, keep carbons. What we have to do to carbons is make it the messaging, which is what I'm using for indicating the carbons to the archive. And
Well,
then they can use the same logic on the server.
not quite. The server side of it.
The server decides, but the server also deciding where to archive. So
Yeah.
we just make we use the same logic for both.
Yeah.
And add local echoes to carbons in return. And then we automatically work with all the current clients to support carbons. And that
we
like
have to
does.
do names.
Why do we bump the namespace? We could have
Because we're going to be shoving new elements. No, we're only shoving new elements in there. We're shoving new elements in there. We're going to change what gets affected by carbons. And we're going to shove the echoes.
okay, I'm fine with bumping the namespace and then we can just comply with it. So that's fine with me.
I think with the echo we'd have to, right?
So you would drop support for carbons?
No, we suggest.
No, we just bump the namespace on carbon. These both got 95% the same.
Yeah,
add in echoes and
and
switch the
Oh, okay.
in which case, yeah, so now we need carbons to start having fine stuff with our hands and not outside hands. And we also get that into your messaging. So anything that comes to flash was archived, we have to like that.
So then the transient messages will simply not have.
Which they need, and they need to make something multiple, if you want to do then that. So you're going to need to have man stamping, which you have multiple UIDs on the message. Because a man, even much messages can be archived by your server, it also is doing archiving much messages in your personal. And also the much itself is archived by its man archive, so that stamped UID is much UID used.
How do you tell the difference?
by the attribute in the archive.
Yeah. You say ISAM.
But that also means that every time that a message comes through message, an entity that does archiving, it has to verify that the byte tag is valid and hasn't been forced. Like someone could send you a message and say that they've archived a message by your server and your server doesn't support man and your client's like, oh, my server has archived this message with this ID. I don't think there's an exploit there, but it's a mess thing. But
Well, to be fair, in that case, the client has to be placed in the client knows the server doesn't support man.
yeah, if it does support man, then the server needs to verify that the by attribute can get it.
If it doesn't support man, the client could.
So then transit messages will get sent away.
Right, they get fully affected by thousands. You use CSN. Yeah, CSN will get distributed by thousands. But it wouldn't be found in archive because it would have to archive.
Chat statement functions.
What about non-chat?
Alright.
Well, for example, publishers part those two.
Alright.
Well, could they also benefit from the same program?
Well, we do.
they're not chat messages.
Their messages.
But does Carbon not say,
Man says, Man says you're allowed to archive whatever you want. So have a load of policies. Okay. And that load of policies will come to the archive. But they're not in your own archive, but in the custom nodes archive. So custom nodes have their own archive, but we don't sort of use that.
And then we have two ways to do that.
Yeah, you have one way to retrieve stuff that you sort of. You have another way to retrieve all stuff.
but they wouldn't be Carbon, would they?
No.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But they would have to come through with the same stamp done by Carbon.
Sure.
Or rather, done
So
by
it's
your
consistent,
server.
yeah.
So you essentially have three different things happening there. You have the server sampling there. If it was man, you have Carbon sampling there. If it was man, you have man.
So what about
Basically,
what about Carbons for mobile devices going into their inactive state? How would this work?
They probably wouldn't have even bothered.
So then when they go active again,
Yeah.
they just get a push of everything.
if they opt into Carbon.
Okay.
Which they want.
Messages once or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or phone to show some decisions.
So
Because even if I'm connected right now, I still can see something and see my way to.
Yeah, that's basically the Carbon doing an interesting thing anyway. Like right now with Yankton, I have Yankton on my phone, and I type it on my laptop, my phone then beep, 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 every phone.
Well, that's the.
And then, if you think about it, there's not really a good way to do that right now. But I think that's something to solve afterwards. Right? Also, this where I think we have a condition view across all devices, and we can build on top of that to say, okay, I read this on this device.
That's the next. That's the next of our whole.
Yeah.
we're looking at something kind of pretty much in that space, which is an active resource. So based on its heuristic around presence and activity, other resources know that they're not active.
Right.
Could be something to look at there.
I'm thinking that if you receive something like that, say that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that if you receive something, think of the phone buzzing because you're typing on the laptop.
Yeah.
If you receive something like Carbon, that you would not notify it, you would have a buffer. And if it then had this was already read, it's going to need to be read stuff as well. So if you get read in 30 seconds, you would buzz. Otherwise, the phone might be buzz. It's not the laptop. You need several of them. I don't like several of them, but you do need to do this.
I think sometimes, like, if you mentioned some of that conversations, they keep ones for new Carbon messages, and then they keep silent. Especially if you're typing from your laptop, it just keeps ones of the Carbon, new Carbon conversation.
But it still needs one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that it doesn't need at all because it's typed on the laptop.
If you just went out, then it's true that it
Right. Yeah.
But you don't know because your laptop hasn't gone offline or gone away yet.
You can
No.
you can see though that your laptop isn't then sending yes I've left this much. So if your phone receives something, we're getting into icky viewers. But if your phone receives a message that isn't followed up by a red marker, then it can be. So, I mean, if it receives a message there, then it's beep. If it receives a Carbon to another resource that's still there, and it isn't followed by a red message, a red marker, then eventually beep once it thinks probably the person left out. We're into the icky viewers, but there isn't a big solution here. Then they will make really static icky viewers.
I would think with the users who are clients running on their desktop and use their phone next to their desktop.
Ah, the WhatsApp model.
And also to blue checkbox, right?
I think you hold it backwards. I think what you want to do is on desktop time,
Because your phone never runs out of battery.
because if you use your phone as your finger contact,
Good idea.
then but the advantage is that if you use any laptop, you've always got a phone.
So, but then I also have a suggestion. Maybe we could strip some of the names, you know, make it shorter of the elements that we use. You know, remove most of the security features.
Well, and why not drop JIDs and move to, say, phone number?
Who in this room is really confused?
No, this is making fun of WhatsApp for those who didn't.
So we don't make fun of WhatsApp.
And drop
We
rosters,
just
please.
just like we write blog posts, but not about anything. Yeah.
I have a question about, I'm not that into math, but how does it work with math?
Not that into math!
I'm not that into AMP.
Nobody uses that.
I do actually, but, how would it work?
Rich, just turn the way.
Would it work together with ham and math? I mean, with the blocks and the fire stuff you have in there?
Actually,
I know.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you have, that's always the problem for me when I'm doing stuff on the server side. When you put multiple stuff in, it's I want to put app, I want to put app. Then in the client side, you don't know what you get. You get the maybe
These things are technically simply implementing that.
sorry?
These things are technically just implementing that.
I mean, that's
And you've got the user wanting to archive stuff, or the contact saying, oh yeah, don't let
Actually, it's
let-
quite hard to know what you get in the client sometimes. But sometimes it's just enable.
Which is exactly
Yeah,
like
then you're like, what the hell is happening? You get two messages, some of them are like, you get them in the toolkit, you get toolkit,
Can you go back a bit? What things actually implement now?
who is implementing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to date it.
Well, which place? Really?
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's news to me. I actually didn't know there were entities actually supporting that at all.
Literally not all of it, but it's not like that it has used in like this.
It has some nice features with stuff you can do.
No, I like
Fire stuff.
only behind it, but it didn't get picked up anywhere. So I thought it was dead.
But that's my problem because now we have like neutral routing stuff and
I would say that if you support NAM, you should not support
no.
that
But
at
that's the
all.
problem, you can't see it unless you reach the steps. I mean, you have to read it really well to understand what can you combine. That's always my problem with using multiple.
So we need to update AMP.
I don't know, but it's not only that, it's other features as well.
Right.
When you use one plugin, then I use the other one. Or
Yeah,
you mess it up.
I think always, yeah.
That's the problem.
We never design those sources. Unless they like.
Yeah, it explicitly says in the document, but it doesn't.
But I don't think anyone thinks about AMP because no one uses it. Makes sense.
No, but I don't
I think that's the reason.
yeah,
The reason Fuzzy got implemented is because it's complicated,
it is
and it does modify queries and rules and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, there are probably things you can do in AMP that you can't do any other way, but if you, AMP's one of these perspectives throughout AMP because it wants to do everything. So you probably just use like one command in AMP to,
Yeah, you cover most
Yeah.
expire stuff, and it's really nice stuff to do. Then you have this and this, and then what
So
is
basically-
that?
So
having
if you
my,
if you look at AMP in the context of MAP, maybe it's you could make it would probably be new code, but it would be more like suggestions to the server of what to archive, how to
Okay.
yeah.
But then you don't know what you get. Actually, still, it's just okay. You don't know what's actually.
I suppose.
but you're using
It
it,
depends on the server then, of the implementation, right?
but you're currently dependent on the server anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So you've got a custom deployment, and you want your custom deployments to hit a certain way. Well, you're in control of it. It's just that having controlling it on the server.
But the problem with AMP is that it also interacts with potentially two different things.
Good. But, yeah.
At the same time, when you have login to Zapier, you know what it should do it, but it's not going to be that thing. But it can be the not specified.
I mean, it's specified.
Yeah, and then it's up to the server. That's what it's specified.
Pretty much.
So
That's why we
how
need
how
to
does
do
that drop to the half? Okay, I think that's something.
The problem solved that. I'm curious why you want to expire messages.
If you're looking for a PubSub, if you, for example, I have a publisher start notification for that somebody rings my doorbell. After 5 minutes, that's no longer relevant.
Other clients ignore it. Other clients ignore it.
Then you have a lot of time to it.
Yeah, simple clients. That's the whole idea.
So
You have a
where-
lot of different clients, for example, with Android, iOS, with Teams, stuff.
where's the message sitting in 5 minutes? In the offline.
So, and then it's rough.
Yeah. Instead of headline.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of implementation. If that works not the way you want. Sure, we actually do archive.
I thought it was better.
The new one does do that.
Well, we're all using the new one. It's better to see.
So AMP needs to be rewritten.
Yeah, I don't know, really, what how to use now.
Yeah.
I'll implement it and see what you can
Good idea.
Do we have a plan for man?
Man plan. Add echoing carbon. Basically, don't touch man except if update joining very rest and fix carbon.
Oh no, we still have to set that. Because we have to add back in
Archives. Well, we can do that.
after now, which is going to cause the going like. But yeah.
Did you finish the market thing already? With that? With the system?
No, I'm working on that.
So that's also part of the new update.
We split the words to get that last Friday.
No, but so that's also part of the
It's
same
different
update.
though, because I realise it's not an easy system converting back to the old text because the text is being modified between sentences. So yeah, it's going to happen. Three-way merges in XML.
Yeah. XML.
I'm basically having to read through like the two versions and think, oh, we do need that. We do need that.
It's much more complicated than it.
What are you going to do?
I'm just going to be inspected manually without letting skill tax.
Yeah, I'm basically having to do that, but yeah, so I have to go through. But I don't know.
It's much easier if we write us back to Jason.
So families, I think, man gets the same melody as it's going to be, a bit like you felt. Man gets archived reinstated. Now, does man get archived reinstated? Or does carbon? Really? Because it's the only thing it does, and it's only the stuff that isn't echoed by carbons. The archive, because carbon is active itself, including the echo.
Yeah, but it was still in man meant. That's how I saw it. Like the archive slides get added to the carbon.
The archive file is active carbon itself.
But it still is a man name.
We are going to use some text for code that.
Yeah. Carbon will, yeah, we will.
And the echo, and how the echo is done. So the echo is carbon,
Yeah.
but the echo with other resources or that people.
And I think that's useful without man having an echo of your own messages by carbon.
Stamp on the echo.
Sorry?
Stamp on the echo is not.
Yes.
But to activate the echo, you have to activate carbon.
Yes, so terribly straightforward.
So using man without carbon would be like using man today. But using man with carbon means to get everything right.
Yes.
And most people want carbon.
And using carbon without man.
Yeah.
So, and we have to sort out the interaction of stuff that gets archived, it doesn't. And that's okay, carbon doesn't sound. Man speaking the carbon doesn't sound the archive is not an archive.
So the user is to carbon alone, man alone, and man plus carbon.
Yeah. And in the carbon state, you have to make sure that everything that's archive is carbon, irrespective of whether it's normal carbon. Like everything that goes in the archive has to be carbonated. To a resource interesting.
Because otherwise it wouldn't be carbon neutral.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we call a beer? Combination.
Okay. Rough man sorted. And good. Multi-cloud sorted. We don't have multi-cloud sorted. Why? Because multi-cloud is considerably more complicated than the kit.
Okay, classic, do you think?
So for,
Multiplier.
well, I say multiplier, what I really mean is making XMPP stand up to everything else, which includes multiplier. But you've got like that, no, you're focusing on that. Probably not important. It's not important. So you have stuff like man, like that messaging, like this. You have, we want presumably delivery receipts sensible. We might want to think about delivery receipts as what gets stored in man. We might want to choose whether they get stored in man as delivered messages or whether they start with flags on messages. We probably can't use flags, we don't have to do sync on flags, which means we're shoving messages in the. And as well as delivery receipts, most people seem to like read receipts, or at least most systems give read receipts. But you also have the local client center, which is your local client. If I use your messages on one client, my other client needs to mark those messages as locally read, so that it gets rid of the notifications. So if I get a bad news message and I've got my laptop phone, that's it. Then both of them should go green, and my phone should show something quickly on the lock screen. And as soon as I go to my laptop and look at it, my phone should clear out the lock screen. Yeah. And so we need to sync that, and I really need to read track markers and I've done before on my but I remember not liking that. But there is a question whether we can do track markers by a map. Sorry, by a map. You can't have more than one can do with any map. Whether we do this by man or whether we do it by something else, which could well be by a map. And whether we do individual message there or the contact there. I think it's probably the case of the contact there. I think we're okay saying I bet all messages.
You not need to know which messages weren't read, so everything except for the last one.
Certainly, if you don't, certainly when you're not all that, you need to know what the last letter was.
In time or by message ID?
Message ID works. But the path is left here. Thought we
Hi, Matt.
yes. So the one question the key way to notification of key clients to get persistent is what we know. There is a train of thought that says you have one subset, you use an ID of the contact, so to get the ability. And you continue to publish that node with what you've met. You have a subset node full of items, you republish the items whenever you update them. So whenever I use next segment message, I can do thing, we make it the same all the time, subscribe. Use the ID, reuse everything, or whatever. So,
And it's just a transient thing. You have the last 10 chats that you've had basically.
well, no, you
Authenticated.
can, or like, you essentially have an unlimited length.
Okay.
And then, and you can always clear that. You know, that's fine. When I read it from somebody that I haven't put a new message, I will put that yeah, and keep that down.
The client would have to do that. About multiple resources, 7 minutes to dispose.
And not so that. Two planets like to say.
No, but if one is relying on it, you don't believe it.
Right, so I'm saying we could use the absence. The absence is
But the item wouldn't actually contain a message, it would just contain metadata, right? Yeah. That kind of coexists in parallel then with NAM.
you need that. It's the best practice that we want to archive IDs to archive IDs or get serial again and archive IDs.
Sorry, the IDs in this tech note, are they the NAM IDs or are they?
Very much. That's the idea we have. But the item ID, the custom item ID, will be
Legit.
legit or
Of the-
transformation.
yeah.
So you can look at that. But the metadata that presents and you represent that would be the one thing.
And just to be clear, is this just for point-to-point normal chat messages or for MUC as well?
Concept that. So, are UIDs a map or UID in the There was a call from somebody on the list because you know that. And it would let us do a net mark as well. You can't plus a net mark as well.
Once you start having message global ID,
They're not global. They're local.
okay.
So
Once you have
that
local
room and your
message ID, people will start finding global. And
you can't have global one.
things get interesting
Then
when, especially in four packages, for example, each package got its own ID. And how do you define what a message is? And I can't remember the concrete example, but there are cases where we copy messages or force them like I'll have to remember the better example, but
it is
when you preserve the original ID and when a message preserves its own ID, I mean, these arguments for like tech notifications and message rooms, just the ID attribute on messages, that was a big debate and even they changed in the so
it's basically when it comes into an entity, that's the time.
yeah.
So
So
when
then
you fork
within
it
an
later-
entity it can become multiple outputs.
Yes. And so you fork it later, that's fine. That's a fork of the message we have something.
They all have the same ID.
The message, I
Even
know that.
if they're for different pages.
I know that. The message I send to Dave, the message I send to Laura, when its name is each other, the message I send to Will, The real big problem is that you get silly words, Dave and all that. Pretend that they break it out. Solitaire, it's not even sick. It's the same. It's the same answer. If they were doing that, for example, on the back, they say, like,
I have a point of order in this aspect. So, at some point we need to have money. So I was wondering, how long do you think this topic will last?
I think we should
But the first mention of lunch.
we just get them what you to do on the idea. Okay, quick idea. If you raise your hand, if you weren't paying attention to steps.
Listening, but not understanding.
Right. Raise your hand if you ID to say hi to that. Say hi to that. Raise your hand if you ID to say hi to that.
I'm in the middle. Still.
I can go with the flow.
I'm trying to think of the multiple things.
Yeah. And not having a simple identifier like that that's reliable is causes a lot of issues. So
Okay.
So we're going to have now say, so we're going to make a new spec.
New spec that explains how you assign your ID to that if you want to, and then man will require it, as will and then not.
So message IDs will be required for
Yeah.
What if you have one of them doesn't?
The client doesn't care about your ID. It's always
So if you have requirements and you have another client once.
yeah, but it's the server channel.
It's not this. It's not the ID the client can send out on its message. It's the UID. It's a different thing.
So your ID assigned by the server.
So server assigns the message to the header ID for that.
It's a different
It's
thing.
completely different.
It's
That's
There's
why
the ID and there's the UID.
UID is not ID. It's the unique identifier of that message in the server. It's not the message standard ID, which is often the last.
Like primary.
where does it actually live in the stanza?
Usually lives in the child message.
Okay. So there's a UID tag or something?
And you can shove that in message in the server. If the server does these things. If the server is man, it needs to. If you're a client, it does red markers, you need that server. And we fiddle with albums. And then we start having to do it on the council.
The stuff around active resource, you were saying there's a lot of heuristic, implicit things you can rely on. Is there any worth in making that an explicit server kind of controlled concept?
It already is. Not server control. It's already explicit in that when you're sending messages to clients, you'll be sending them to the actual client all day. It's just that it's often wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure you can do much better than
So when you've got a passive client, the mobile in your pocket, we're relying on the fact that this wasn't originally addressed to me to not notify. Is that it?
or to hold on notifying if what it wasn't best to look after safety out there.
Okay.
Which is unfair. It's the best option. The problem is if you have an active marker, it goes fail.
Yeah, sure.
In the very instance, at the point at which you most care about getting the notification, quite often, when you just stepped away, you most care about getting it on your phone.
It's there.
It's there.
Yeah, it goes there. So two other things. So it was mentioned briefly over there as well. When a mobile client is in the background, it does want to get periodic kind of pushes of messages every 5 minutes, whatever it is, but so we're not keeping the radio on a high state. Can we kind of maybe look at how that would be defined, and also maybe there's other triggers like, you know, some size of buffer is filled or something like that.
We'll, at the moment, there is a spec, there's that spec for saying server on the background.
This is CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And at that point, the server can apply whatever rule it wants to slow down that.
Okay.
It's a server, if it wants to do such a better big or whatever.
But it's only like true or false, right?
Yes.
The name of the piece of
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say what has to prove or what has to.
There's no filter.
No.
It's just a case of,
Use case or
And this would only, let's say, buffer Carbon's messages, or would this also buffer their messages to their did?
it's up to the server how it behaves, but the server is live before. So if you slow stuff down,
Okay.
you can't do the audio stream.
Okay.
So the server's not like the audio stream.
That gets us back though to the point there that if you're not changing the order, then we need a end indicator.
You're right. CSI needs a CSI.
Previously argued against it.
Sorry?
Why do we need it?
So if I'm getting red notifications after the original message, say, as a mobile device, I won't know to not notify until I get the red indicator, which automatically happens after the original message. So
You're going to see the flood of messages. You don't want these flood of messages to generate flood of notifications.
any notifications at all is avoidable. If they've all been read somewhere else, we don't want the phone buzzing every 5 minutes.
It's to allow the client to know that this is stuff old. It just didn't receive yet in the background. So it can be special focusing before that.
I sort of disagree.
Excellent. Go on.
I think if a message is old, that's what we think about. I don't think CSI is involved.
Well, all I'm saying is, you say
Because the problem is,
you set the result. The client says to server IQ, he's put in the foreground.
there's not an IQ stream.
Yeah, so I'd say you're probably the IQ. But you just get to the box, that's that. And this is the big deal.
The problem is, CSI doesn't say that this stuff will be involved with that.
Right.
So there's no such thing as a flat. There's no such thing as few standards.
No.
Because it's not standards.
Well, maybe this is part of Carbon's more than CSI.
But it's
I'm trying to understand the use case of why the such matters, because you could receive any message at any time, you can have network lag and stuff like that. So I don't know if the server decides to send messages and drop that, whatever. I know that was raised to my browser. I'm just putting it out there. Until I have a specific thing to argue against.
okay. Your CSI server implementation might not do delay. It's not through delay in the sense that yes, I finished clicking you back and forth on those. That's fine.
Why does it need to do it?
Because in the case that it is through delay, you don't want the client to generate a further notification because the server sends a load as well.
Trying to generate indications of messages.
That needs to be notified, but very hard because anything is blocked if it's found at once. Very often, first standard is received by the first message. You want to wait, you want to hold off both until you've got the block together, so that you can say, oh yes, there's this.
But that's also happens in these networks.
You could,
You could suddenly get fixed messages once without it.
you could.
So why not send a thing, I don't know, and timestamp for every message, or I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It does. It does. The network could cause bad user.
Yeah, so the network without
The network could cause bad user experience, or we have a set here that guarantees cause bad user experience. That doesn't mean because we can't stop the network being bad, that we should represent both implementations of the user experience.
Or the server can just
But it's not allowed to be open still.
Can it somehow interpret the red standard? You know, send something before everything else.
It shouldn't be ordered, but it implementation does stop. It does all rather it's not specific things before.
So if something is superseded, it's basically.
Yes. And it could into like it would. I think we've got a module stop tap state and stuff, so it will only send them when people tap state.
Sure. But I guess from the client's perspective, you know, if there's an active conversation going on a primary device and a secondary device is getting every 5 minutes a buffer push of messages that, to be honest, shouldn't notify at all. We don't want every 5 minutes the phone buzzing in the pocket. So I think we need to figure out some way of doing that.
I agree, but my point is that can happen with or without a CFI. So adding it into CFI only half solves the problem.
Right.
And it also
Do you have a solution? Do you have solutions to the network? You can stop the internet lagging.
No, but you're suggesting to half solve the problem by making my set stronger.
No, I'm suggesting that we solve the problem that your debt introduces.
But that's the other problem. It doesn't necessarily introduce anything because it doesn't tell you what the server's going to do.
Right,
I know a lot of people
it's
disagree
a
with
set service. But the most common use of it is going to be helping mobile devices.
Yes.
And it's usually going to be that.
Yes.
And by doing that, it's going to introduce the issue.
No, the issue's already there. So I'm saying we should solve it with another principle. If there's an issue with like knowing when to notify and when not to notify about the message, we should solve it somewhere but not together. Because then it solves it for everyone in all things. Then you've got the exact same problem with 198. You go into a tunnel and then you come out and you've had this whole bunch of messages. Like you just had a conversation on another device while you were in the tunnel.
Yeah.
From your desk to the office.
Yeah.
And
What?
Well, you ran a tunnel.
you come out of the tunnel, you get this whole conversation.
Yeah.
And then your phone, you don't want to notify you.
Yeah.
I'm really mad at this.
Put the bloody reply in, please.
So you come out and you get a bunch of messages that you don't want to be notified about. Conversation while you're in the tunnel.
Can the server tag the messages?
It's bunker instead of tunnel, and then it's.
No, when you're getting the buffer pushed, can the server tag the messages? The server knows what's in the buffer and can interpret it, knows what's about to send. So per message, it can say, you know, whether it needs to notify or not.
The server doesn't know the rules of
Sure.
But we could only allow two servers.
No, I mean, in terms of, there's a basic, I guess, expected user experience that when you've got it on one device, other devices don't notify, right?
But let's see what it is on. But if you're going to inject into each stanza a new element, it says, and by the way, I have something else in my back, I later it can come along, you know. It's more if you would just say, by the way, I'm done.
Or can you just add a red element and drop the later red stanza?
Right.
Yeah.
Which you could exactly can't. Because then you want to find stanzas, and it's going to say, man. Yeah, or the only thing that's stopping something like that is math. So, it's more used to someone specific.
I'm willing to say that we need to respond.
Those who feel like they have an action could write it down in the note.
Link is in the summit note.
Yes. That's less of one.
Okay, I will add it. I will actually add it to the CFI.
Thank you.
I
Wow.
think you're all mad for thinking that the solution does it. I will add it.
And when you come up with the solution that affects the fix that as well, then we can use it to see it.
I'm not going to do it. You'll see. You'll see when you're in a tunnel and having conversations with yourself.
when I'm in tunnel, and I'm also at my desk,
Well, details, what are you doing? Well, the idea is that we just go to the canteen and have food there. It's generally funded, so, and then apparently we maybe let them know that we're going to have, and somebody can take it.
I'm sure they'll appreciate this.
We haven't really
Thought this one
thought
through.
this through yet. But
Why you're looking at me.
well, I'm not looking at you.
I am.
I'm looking at my fellow board members.
Oh,
You can make notes then.
I'll make notes of that.
Stairs.
I mean, big one, so let you order it. But yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You're in debt enormously already, right?
Yeah, a little section.
Okay.
All the time funds, yeah.
So Chris, shall we just walk up to the counter and then
Yeah, I
let
guess
them
so.
know that we are taking the class?
Yeah, just how many are we?
Can you please sit down for a bit?